Hi, welcome to Reno TV. I'm Sharon Spangler, and my guest is Councilmember Dan Gustin, and we're going to talk about downtown Reno, special events, the police tax district, and how those all fit together. And that is a hard thing to say, police tax district.
Yeah, you've got to take each word individually, otherwise you slur them through. I can't say it straight myself.
So first off, there was a big meeting that drew everybody involved in special events. Let's talk about that first. What was that all about?
It was the culmination of a meeting we had. That we have a special events committee. Councilman Iazzi, Councilman Zadra, and myself are the subcommittee members. We had a meeting and talking about special events in downtown. And Mike Helton from the Reno Air Races was there. And he had some comments and some things to say. And he said, you know, I know you need to know more about special events, how many people attend, what the revenue is, et cetera, et cetera. And he offered to bring people together and have a meeting and talk about it. And he did. He followed through just as he said he would. We had a meeting not too long ago at the Washoe Bar and Grill up on 4th Street. But more than 40 people attended.
Wow.
And they were from all walks of life, from casinos, from promotion areas, from special events. And we got together and it was about a 2.5 hour meeting, sorted things out, and talked about their budget. Mike was very open about the budget from the Reno Air Races, and even their agency, their promotion firm, came and explained how they look at it, how they rate it, how they take the attendance numbers, and showed us what was going on. What was really surprising to me that came out, especially for the Reno Air Races, they say that about 20 to 30% of their revenue comes from locals. What's interesting about that, he said, it is the difference from us making a profit and not making a profit. So the local community is really important to the air races. And you can carry that on and extrapolate to other special events. It's the same kind of thing, whether it's 30 or 50 or 40%, the local community participating and being involved in special events makes them successful financially or not.
At the time you hear about filling rooms in the hotel casinos and bringing outside dollars in. So the local people really pretty much, that sounds like the bread and butter of the event.
It's the overage. It's the room nights and the people that come from out of town, if you can, and I'm being pretty general here, but that makes your nut, if you will. And then the profit that any group or any organization makes is from the local people. So that's why there's so much interest in having local people attend, make them attractive to local people, and make them successful. You know, you talk about downtown room nights, and you think traditionally of the casinos, but they showed some graphics and some events that went on that there were a lot of hotel room nights filled, but they weren't the traditional casinos. They were the smaller motels, the smaller areas where there are rooms available, not necessarily the hotel casino. I can't remember the special events they talked about, but they said about 25% of the room makeup is from the non-hotel casinos that we all think about, from those other areas. It was extremely important and extremely informative, the special events meeting. I think the takeaway was how important they are to the community. Right. They're absolutely essential. And we found that out in our presentation, our budget meeting, the primary we had for a day and a half, 2 days at the Reno Ballroom. We talked about special events, and it was brought forth by the University of Nevada, said, if you're looking to increase revenue and visitation and be successful and get the economy, the whole area rejuvenated and restarted, special events will be a key element for it. So that's why we're so focused on and looking about how do we make them better, how do we make them more attractive, and how do we make it so that more people really want to attend.
And I can't help but talk about Hot August Nights. That must have been a topic of discussion, if not at that special events meeting. I know that it's been a topic of discussion by the City Council, because the Hot August Nights folks really surprised the city and a lot of people in the community by announcing that they're also going to hold their event in Long Beach. Was that discussed? How do we keep our events in Reno, and what kinds of safeguards do we put in if we're investing a lot of city dollars into an event to make sure that that investment stays here?
That is one of the current discussions going on. It wasn't a focus of the meeting that Mike had called together with the 40-plus people I talked about. There was representation from Hot August Nights there, and they didn't make any kind of a presentation about it. But it is important, and the people that were there said, you know, if you invent these events here, if you start them here, then you have to take ownership and control of them. You have to keep them here. So in a way, Sharon, it was discussed. Hot August Night specifically wasn't discussed. What I understand, we still don't have a final, as of taping of this show, we don't have any final information direction from Hot August Nights, although they have said that maybe they're looking right now at not being a Reno-sponsored event, that our dollars are not that important. I shouldn't phrase it that way, but they're not, may not come forward and say to the Reno City Council and the City of Reno that we need your sponsored dollars. That's what I have heard. Now, if that's going to be true, fine. If it's not, I don't know that yet because we really haven't gotten the information. There was some information presented at a council meeting, like 1 or 2 council meetings ago. And Councilman Ayazi was looking at it. He had seen it before I did. He looked at it and he said, I don't think these numbers jive. I don't think they're accurate. And I think there was some question. Cadence Matievich said she'd go back to Hot August Nights and get some clarifications because I don't think the numbers actually jive. But going back to the meeting that we had with these people that were all in the room, we talked about how to estimate, how to find out how many people actually attend, rather than just throw out numbers. And I think that's where the community needs the buy-off, in that they know how many people are coming, and then we find out what the true budget for these events are and what they need to make them go. And nobody wants to pull anything away from them, but we want want them to be successful. But Sharon, we really need to know what the bottom line, what the nuts and bolts are to make this go. And I think the Reno Air Race is the first to the fore on this, the foreground on this. And I think they were very open and forthcoming about what they do, what they need. And you know, when we had that, when they were canceled a few years back, it almost was the death knell to that event. And that event's been around for an awfully long time. As I've said to you on this show before, it's the only national championship event we have in Northern Nevada. And I am very bullish and very pro Reno races, Reno Air Races, because I think they're really, really important. They give us a look around the world. When you look at how they get out and how they promote their event, it's worldwide.
Well, I was really impressed when Mike Helton came to the city, and it was a ceremonial type of thing with the media, but they signed the contract just to show the city that they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're hoping not to go anywhere. I mean, the area has grown up around them, but they were there first, and we hope that they stay. They want to stay. What they were trying to do was make everybody else in the area realize that it's not something you need to hold close to your vest. I mean, you want to know your proprietary information, obviously, and not everybody needs to know that, but we need to cooperate. We need to know that we're all in the same boat together, and we all need to row the same way. We all need to get it done so that special events can grow, prosper, and benefit the community. That's really what it's about, and that's what the research at the university says. The more they grow, the more successful they are, the better it is for the community. The better it is for the community.
Is anyone working on something brand new for the area?
Well, that was kind of the conversation, because the research talked about what are we doing right, what are we doing wrong, what demographic and psychographic groups are we bringing that we shouldn't be bringing or we should be bringing. So what's going to evolve out of this meeting, there are going to be other meetings and saying that, you know, the people that are most beneficial to the businesses here in Northern Nevada are these kind of people, these people that do this, do X, Y, and Z. So let's market to those people rather than a shotgun approach. Let's make it more of a rifle approach to the target that we're looking for. Certain events have certain targets, certain events have other targets. So that's what he was saying, and I didn't fall on deaf ears. People were listening, and people understand. I think we all understand that, having been in the advertising marketing business for so long, but they take the numbers now and from the research they have and say, these are the people that are coming. These are the people we want, because this is what the event is intended to do. Let's go after those people, and here's how we do that.
I think there was a little bit of that involved in the Reno River Festival, bringing in the kayaking group, and there's sort of the yuppie crowd that was a different crowd that would come in for Hot August Nights, or probably even the air races. I'm sure there's some crossover, but a completely different crowd.
Yeah, there are different crowds, I think, for all of them. There's some similarity, and when we're talking local, I think it's even more so. It's probably a higher percentage, but you look at the Reno Rodeo, you look at the balloon races, the others that you mentioned, even now the State Fair that's in some jeopardy of existing and staying around. So what's the right demographic makeup, and then how do we get to those people to give them our message?
I've always heard that street vibrations brings in a lot of money, because obviously motorcycles are expensive and all the stuff that goes with them, and there's a lot of doctors and lawyers and people like that wear business suits during the week, and on the weekends get on their Harleys.
Yeah, put their headbands on and they're, yeah, that's true. There is a lot of money that comes from that because it takes money to do that. It's the same thing with Hot August Nights. I mean, when you look at the investment in some of those cars, it's just absolutely enormous. But it doesn't have to be that those are the only people we're looking for. So that's why this meeting was good. It got people talking, I think, among themselves and saying, okay, all right, how do we make this better for everybody? And that was, I may be repeating here a little bit, but that was the general intention, that we not all go in separate little silos and figure out what we want to do. How do we share this information so that everybody is successful?
Sounds like it was really informative, and that's a good way to segue into the next part of our discussion, which is the downtown police tax district, and really trying to do more with less and to make sure that we have police coverage downtown during our special events.
It really is important. It's not to be, the police we're talking about and the policing we're talking about is not to be onerous in any way, shape, or form. But when you mix people and alcohol, you sometimes get a small percentage of people that lose control. And it's not overbearing by any stretch of the imagination. And the events are intended to be fun and let people, if they want to drink, if they don't want to drink, enjoy themselves, be happy and get around town and do what they want to do. But just make sure that the presence is there if something does happen, that it's controlled. What's interesting about the police tax district, they have a committee. They meet once a month. I try as often as I can to go to that because they meet on Wednesday at noontime, and sometimes their meeting conflicts with our city council meetings, but I've been to most of them. And their chairman, Daryl Clifton, and the people that are on that committee are really aggressive in trying to make downtown better for the properties they represent, for the businesses they represent, and safer for everyone. I talked to people from the DIA, the Downtown Improvement Association. They're very interested. They were the genesis of the tax district to figure out policing downtown. So it's a good marriage and a good mix. I had a meeting with Chief Pitts and with Daryl Clifton. The three of us met for a little more than an hour. We talked about what we can do and what we can't do. And what the people in the committee are looking for in downtown is the policing in the days they need them. And traditionally you need them Friday, Saturday nights, sometimes on Sunday, but Friday and Saturday nights are the days we want what they call the boots on the street, or the police around or available for downtown. One of the nice things that came out of the meeting is Chief Pitt said, okay, there's some scheduling obstacles I have to get by, but I'm going to work on that to schedule them when you think you need them downtown, even the hours. And that's not the most pleasant thing for the officers. I understand that. But between 8 o'clock at night and 3 or 4 in the morning on a Saturday, between a Saturday and a Sunday, might be the most advantageous time, and we haven't had as many police as the people downtown would like. The second thing is that some of the other businesses downtown said, well, maybe there's a way that we can use either a private security force or part of our security forces and commingle it. And the chief was very open to that. He said, yeah, in any way we can put more officers, and they may be off-duty officers, hired by the different businesses downtown to have their presence. Because what it really comes down to is presence and the police being cooperative and friendly with the people and vice versa. So you're not just there to grab somebody who looks like they're inebriated and take them off to jail, but to try to educate and try to say, we're here for your protection. We're not here to make your life more miserable or not let you have fun, but we're here for your protection, because there's a certain amount of that has to be there. So we've gotten a good dialogue going between the DIA, the tax district, and the police department, and everybody seems extremely cooperative in saying, okay, how do we make this work? How do we fix this? If this portion is broken, how do we fix it? How do we make this all work?
So really a redistribution, and it sounds like in this downturn in the economy is an opportunity for everyone to really work a little harder together to figure out ways to make things work.
I think your word is absolutely correct, redistribution. I think that's a great word, and that's what the chief said. Okay, maybe I can adjust schedules to make this work, because we have to have police on 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It isn't all about downtown, but how do we emphasize and create more presence on certain times? And I've kind of zeroed in on Friday and Saturday, because even this time of year now we're supposed to be in February, right? Yeah, the weather, the weather doesn't look like, it look like we're in April, but when we start looking into May through the end of September, the first part of October, I mean, that's when things happen in downtown. That's when most people are here, tourists are here, visitors are here, and it's natural. The weather's better. So that's what we're targeting. We have some time to plan how we're going to do this, and all we need to do is put it into motion with the different cooperation of the groups that want to cooperate and make this work so people, again, I can't overemphasize, we want people to come downtown, spend your money, have fun, enjoy yourself. All we want to do is make sure that it's a safe environment for you and the businesses downtown.
On that note, I want to thank you for joining us. I loved what you said about how important it is that the local community gets involved in coming to the special events, that's really important to keeping those events thriving in our community.
Yeah, we're so lucky to live here and have those kind of events. Be here where all you have to do is leave your house and either walk or drive or ride your bicycle to an event. I mean, that doesn't happen in all communities.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
And thank you all for joining us.